Hello, and welcome back to my channel with another episode of Marketing Matters with hawemuurhh. And today I'll be bringing you trends to expect in 2020 with regards to influencer marketing. Obviously, this is what I promised you guys in my 2019 reflective. Basically, in my 2019 reflective, I did mention that I'd be doing a lot more of the content that I actually wanted to do, which is this. And also mentioned that there'd be a couple of things that are going to change with my content. And obviously, if we want to change, we kind of need to know what to expect and be abreast of it in order for us to be able to adapt effectively. So basically this video is going to help you guys to do that. And I feel like if you were thinking that you were doing fine and you're still going to carry on as you were doing last year with your content, I don't know, if you don't adapt, you die. So I pretty much really recommend that you watch this video and see how you can tweak your content in 2020 so that you stay abreast of everything and it's 2020 for you. So if you think you're going to be interested in this video, please do carry on watching and let's get into it. One of the trends that you guys should be expecting in 2020 is the rise of nano and micro influencers being used by brands. In recent years, it's been determined that influencer marketing is highly effective in order for businesses to stay relevant. They know they have to jump onto influencer marketing. But I'm sure, as you all know, the bigger influencers get and the more brands that they work with, the less credible they seem to the everyday person. So in essence, brands are trying to use nano and micro influencers more as they become more relatable, and because they have smaller numbers, people can actually trust them and their opinion and believe that they're actually telling the truth about brands that they're working with and about what they like or don't like. So people just generally find nano and micro influencers more authentic. So my advice though with that is that if you're a micro or nano influencer, start off right. Pick brands wisely and try to deliver exceptional content from the get-go. And life doesn't stop. Technology keeps changing and things are moving pretty fast. So always stay in the know about the kind of content you deliver. Stay in the know about what's happening in that space in which you create. And always be teachable, but always be willing to teach. It's inevitable for a nano and micro influencer to grow, especially the more they start working with brands. But the one thing that you should do if you're a nano or micro influencer is continue to be authentic, create the kind of content that you've always wanted to create, don't change, and also be more cognizant with the brands that you work with, which leads me to the second trend to expect in influencer marketing, which is longer term partnerships with brands. If you're thinking about it in a sense where more of the general public starts to feel like influencers are less authentic with the more brands that they work with. So ideally what should happen is influencers should pick the brands that they work with more wisely, and brands should pick influencers who are best aligned to the brand. And in doing that, essentially, it creates room for them to build a stronger bond and actually have a partnership that's more long-term. Because, hear me out, if an influencer works with a brand that they really resonate with and align with, and people also see the authenticity of this brand alignment, it only makes sense for the brand to want to work even more and for longer with that influencer. Also to avoid that influencer having to work with many other brands who are probably also in the same space as in like their direct competitor to that brand, which then causes that notion that people have that influencers are being inauthentic for working with many brands. So my advice, be more intentional with how you pick the brands that you want to work with. Plan it out in actual fact, and always try and negotiate when brands approach you or when you make proposals, for it to not be only campaign based but more always on and longer term. Learn to write great proposals, learn to put in more than just ordinary effort into the proposals that you do, and same with your content. Be extra, just do the most. Don't settle for the very least you can do. Try to make amazing content, and you can use that to leverage amazing long-term brand what's the word? Brand partnerships. Yeah. And if you guys like, I can create a video on how to do good brand proposals, because I do them. So if you want me to do that, just comment below and I'll see how many people are interested in that and I can do it. Something else to expect is that generally influencer marketing is bound to become more real. So expect more realism on your feed in 2020. And when I say realism, I mean this. Knowing that platforms like Instagram have been aspirational, and there's this notion that Instagram isn't real. But if you think to right now, in actual fact, with those filters, in 2020 you will be married, rich, single. Never have I ever kissed another girl. You guys watch that on a day-to-day basis. Even though you've already seen a dozen of them, you're still watching. Do you know why? Because I know why. Abantu bayayithanda indaba. You like to know what's happening in other people's stories, in other people's lives. So basically what I'm trying to say is people are drawn to what actually is. So what you're going to start seeing is more content that is not as curated and more people being just who they are. And with that is obviously going to come the rise, which I'm sure you're already seeing, of Instagram stories, but I'll talk to that in a bit. But people want to see things being more believable. So with that, there comes the thing of moving away from too much filtering, too much editing, and almost being in the moment all the time, which really is, this point is more explainable by me referring to the next trend, which is video becoming king. Kind of already is. That's why you're watching this video. You are actually more inclined to watch people's stories as soon as you get onto Instagram, as opposed to scrolling down your actual timeline. That's honestly because you literally see the pieces of someone's life that you don't get to see on their feed, and it almost bridges the gap between reality, which is the stories, and I won't say the feed isn't real, but it's more planned out. So it's almost a bridging of that gap, and that's why people are more inclined to watching stories. So it just speaks to what's currently happening, and people just need to get on the bandwagon. Invest, I won't say invest, but listen up, really. I also mentioned this in my 2019 reflective, that having my channel has allowed me to be more open, more free, and just less insecure about many things. And because of that, I've become a little bit more free to create whatever I want to create, and be open about it. So in line with realism, I definitely recommend that you loosen up. Don't be afraid. Don't let fear grip you. Do what you want, and the people who like what you're doing will always support you. And I'm not saying that everyone should create mounds and mounds and mounds of video content, no. But to prepare yourself, start to learn how to create video better, learn how to do the best storytelling with video, and just equip yourself with the skills that you need in order to just do video better. And I will include some people who I think are actually really good with their video content. I'll include people who have short form video and long form video, and one of those people is Jessica van Heerden. So I'm sure if you've watched her YouTube channel, you'll see how amazing her content is. There's a guy named Chipo, and if you're like a Twitter person, but I'm sure you would have seen his Bali trip videos or December short videos. They were impeccable and the editing was amazing. And I'll also include a YouTuber that I watch that just teaches you how to create better videos. I know with my latest video, my lookbook, which you can also watch after this, I didn't just wake up one day and had a brilliant idea on how to create transitions and shoot like that. Nope. I spent a couple of weeks of figuring out how to do it and how to best execute. So best advice to do better video is genuinely just upskill yourself. And this brings me to my last point. You're gonna see people building communities. It's human nature to want to be a part of something. And if social media is the big boom for us in this century, realize that everyone wants to belong somewhere. And if I have a platform in which I share things or share myself, and there's people who relate to that and people who resonate with me and find me just relatable, it's best to keep those people here and in essence we become one big family. And I'm sure you've seen with many people's channels as well, where you have Lanzi's Gamma Gang, and you have More Love Bamihlali, and you have TG Gang Yathandi. You know, that's building a community of people who resonate with you. And someone I've noticed who's done this pretty well also on Instagram is Umbali with her Glow Gang. And it's literally a thing of trying to make people feel welcome, and the more real you are and the more you share and the more you're just yourself, the more people are drawn to you, and you can build a community of people who just are drawn to you and are willing to support you in everything that you do. And my advice is to make space to always thank those people, appreciate them, and show gratitude to the people who are with you. So I think all of these points that I've mentioned lead to that point of creating a wholesome community of people who love and support you. And it's not really a trend, it's just how life should work. Like I said, everyone wants to belong, and if you can create a place where people can belong, then that's your success right there. And lastly, I think to actually win in all the trends that I've mentioned, you definitely need to own your space and be comfortable in it. Someone who's less capable than you can take all the opportunities that you were waiting for or were right in front of you purely because they were not fearful and actually went for it. With that being said, we have reached the end of the video, and if you're still here and you enjoyed this video, please do give me a big thumbs up and like this video. And about 46% of you who watch my videos aren't subscribed, and I don't know how we're gonna do this. If like please subscribe if you're watching and you're not subscribed. And let me explain. If you're not subscribed, that button down there that's red, if it's red, it means you're not subscribed. So guys, please just subscribe to my channel, and I'll be creating a lot more videos like this, and hopefully regularly. And if you're for that, please let me know in the description. No, please let me know in the comments, not in the description box. That's my place. So if you're ever searching for this particular series, I think we'll just use mmwh. So that will be the hashtag that I'll use from here onwards, as opposed to the full term, but we all know what it means. And yes, thank you so much for watching, and see you guys in my next video. Bye bye.